the Bellmont regular board meeting. The time is 6:33 p.m. Call to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Leon River here.
Linda Johnson here.
Barbara Bruce here.
Peg Wallen here.
Claudia Dent, clerk.
Thank you. Let's all stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You girls can spread out some if you want to, because there was one here.
Is he not going to come?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to, everyone's had a chance to review the minutes from the, May meeting. Online. What day was that?
May 14th.
May 14th minutes. Everyone's had a chance to review those. Okay, have a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We also had closed session, or special meeting on June 4th, and went into closed session, and I'd like a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I do want to remind you that closed session minutes are not to be released even after approval. Okay. Has everyone had a chance to look at the bills and financials? You have your first and your draft and the original procedure. We'll continue to review that. I will get the papers off the desk for the water report. On June 11th, the water tower was at 1.6. City Hall was 1.0. The volume of the tower, 118, fed by Rick. Everything is looking good, maintaining. Total usage for 24 hours was 13,640. And the lift station looks like it's being well maintained, no problems there. Next on the agenda, if you guys are okay with it, I'd like to go ahead and open the floor for public comment. Okay, and Claudia, you have a timer. And so I'm going to open the floor at this time.
Okay, well, the reason I'm here to address this, I've been dealing with my water bill, and then we got some nuisance letters, of course.
Patricia, would you mind stand? You don't have to stand, but state your name.
Oh, Patricia Gunzel.
Thank you.
And I have all my receipts and all my bills, and the dates and the time, they're not adding up with what you're having, and you have to charge me I've been charged reconnect fees. My water was not shut off. That's a $50 charge on my bill that should not be there. There is finance charges that should not be there. Because if you look at my receipts and my money orders, my bill is paid before the 10th. So this month it's not, because I'm a little bit upset, and I'm sorry that I'm trying not to be upset. But I have had so many, I got 3 water bills for the month of May. This is ridiculous.
How could you get 3?
There is 3 water bills that I've been sent. I have them right here. And I have all the water, I have wrote down, and when I filled up my pool, I wrote it down, and I wrote down when I was done filling up my pool. I was been told we've had a leak. There's no thing, and that's what I said. When I spoke with you and you called me, and you said that the $50, well, I was still charged for that $50. That was another finance charge and a $50 charge added onto my bill, and that's not saying that I was late.
Okay.
And that's not correct.
I did address that with Lorraine and told her that, I can't remember the exact date, and that the $50, because you pointed out to me that the payment was on the 24th and you were not shut off, and Rick had said that also.
And Rick said the same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
he was even
And
out because
I
I
pointed
paid it.
that
I paid it
to
with
her.
money order.
She should have had it credited on that, the $50 should have been credited, and it still left you a balance.
Yeah, there's nothing. I have a bill right here for this one is the latest one, and that's for 6/1, and that's for $171. And that's not correct. There's fees on finance charges, but I wasn't late, and they're not being late, okay, then I shouldn't have that finance charge on there. That $50 reconnect fee shouldn't be on there.
And like I said, I did get a hold of her, and she was supposed to credit that. Was that April or May that you got, like, that they charged you the $50 reconnect?
I'm pretty sure, I've been charged a few times on the reconnect was in June.
Okay. You realize that if he comes to your home to shut you off.
Yeah, but see, he didn't come to shut me off.
Okay.
He was saying, did you get that water, which I had gotten that water bill in. I had gotten a money order from the post office and dropped it in the box.
Okay.
And it was paid beforehand, so there shouldn't have been no finance charge. And there shouldn't have been no late fee.
Okay, if it was paid before the 10th, there's no finance charge.
And that's right, and it was in the box. It was, the money order is safe on it.
Okay.
And that's what I said, I have all the bills. I went ahead and just brought every bill that I've had with my receipts, because I have the receipt or the statement from the water company and saying that they have backdated all these. There are several times that I'd be in charge finance charges that shouldn't be there.
Okay. I will look over in detail with Lorraine. I do know that I told her that you saw that the payment was made on the 24th, and therefore there would not be a late fee.
And then there was
Cut off
Christmas,
the
and Christmas, I paid it on the 26th, Christmas. Okay, I didn't pay it on Christmas, which that is the 25th, and I understand that. I paid it the 5th. So I didn't feel I should have to still be charged that finance charge or late fee, because it was Christmas.
Well, now, a late fee is always going to come if you don't pay it by the 10th. I mean, on the 11th, you pick them up, and anything not there by the...
Well, we've learned that now, so, I mean, as
Okay.
far as that goes, because I can't afford the finance charges and the $50 fees all the time.
I will,
And it's just getting to be ridiculous. That's why I'm here today. It's because, I mean, we can't afford it. My husband has congestive heart failure, and we're trying to do our best with cleaning up our yard. You know, we work with him. He's been trying to downsize all his stuff. I mean, and we didn't put the fence up just to cover things up. We put the fence up because I've got grandkids, and he's 3, and he is an explorer, and I have dogs that need to be in the fence. That's the reason I wanted the fence up, is to keep them in, not somebody out, or not worry about what everybody's seeing, because I don't care if anybody sees my yard. My husband, that's his livelihood. He does junk for a living. It's a lot of his making our income, because he's not really supposed to be working. So, thank you. That's all I had to say. I just wanted to address it, because I feel that's where we're supposed to come and address this stuff too. And I brought everything that we needed if anybody wanted to look at it, but I did, and I wrote them down.
Okay. I'll address it with her and see if she can get together with you and sit and go over the statement with you.
Absolutely, because I have them all wrote down. I mean, I have everything down, and as I said, and then you told me to write a letter to the village to tell them what we were doing to clean up the place. I'm working on it. I mean, I'm only one person, and with Buck, that's a battle. At least I'm getting him to clean up the yard. At least I'm getting him to do, I am working on it.
Okay.
I mean, that is his livelihood. Sometimes I have to go behind him and pick up his tools, because if he had a shed, he could keep all of it in the shed, and we would not worry.
I beg your pardon.
Pardon me, sir. We do have a tendency to find tools laying around.
But, a lot of that stuff wouldn't be in the yard if he got his permit to be able to put his shed up.
I want to tell you, you've done the right thing. Writing the numbers down, dates and numbers and all that stuff, and meeting.
Your phone number?
Well, that's just what I'm just out.
Meeting
I mean, I can't not let it go. I mean,
No.
and
meeting
it's
with
upsetting.
Linda and,
Patricia wrote a quick note with today's date on it, saying that what you just explained to me and how you're trying to work on the property. As long as I have that on file and documentation that you're trying, we can continue to try to work with you on that also.
Be sure to add your phone number so we can go back with you.
Absolutely, honey, I sure will. I'll just put that one on the top of the right there.
I will ask you to ask about to get the stuff out of the alley. I know you.
Yeah, we've been working on that because I was actually, if you look at my poor legs, I have been throwing tires here lately. And
Well, why didn't you guys bring those tires up when we had
they did. They already took a load out of there. They don't know where the other ones came from. Now there's a whole new another pile, and he doesn't understand where it even came from. Is somebody throwing their tires in our yard or what? Because they took a whole trailer load out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is going on? So I'm the one that's going through and getting the rims out, the bad tires, throwing them, getting the sticks in my hand up with, I'm trying.
Okay.
Because my husband is not somebody, he's a hoarder, and he's not someone that gets rid of it because he got the use for everything. Even though it doesn't run, it could run, and it could be a part to another the thing that could make it run. You just never know. I try.
Okay. If you'll just, before you leave, go ahead and drop your note into the drop box, and that way Lorraine will pick it up, and then I will get a hold of her, and we'll schedule an appointment for you to come and go over your bill in detail with her. Do you have any idea what time really worked better for you?
Well, I have my grandson.
I saw him today.
He's rotten. He keeps me going. He's actually coming back because it's easier for Chelsea for him to stay the night with us than her taking him home with him because Zach works third shift, so he's not home. And then she's got to get up in the morning, and so he just stays with Nana and Papa. And you hear him off the back porch going, ah!
Okay.
So I can get Pappy to watch you for a little bit. Him and Pappy can bond for a little bit to come up and have
I believe Lorraine works till late, and I work till late, so it would probably be...
An evening, that's absolutely fine too. Either way, Bub can help me with little britches. It's not a problem.
And he can come too.
He's busy.
Okay. It's just to sit down and talk.
He don't want to sit down very well.
Okay.
He's a busy.
Okay. I appreciate you coming in and trying to clarify that with us and letting us know that you are working on your property. There are several properties in town that really do appear as a big nuisance, and we just need to...
And I understand, and I'm bad about going into the neighbor's yard and picking up sticks out of their yard. That's what kind of neighbor I am. When we have a storm, I was over picking up the tree limbs out of their yard. But what are you doing? He was getting out of their yard. I'm like, well, their tree limbs fell. I'm picking them from the back of the yard. He's like, you don't pick up everybody else's limbs.
I might be guilty of that myself
I said, well, I can't help it.
Okay.
And they did contact me. They were out. I was outside 2 Sundays ago, and they asked me about the trash cans and about the burn order. And I said, well, I don't know the burn order. I said, I just know that I think you can, as long as it's not burning, you can burn through your sticks and stuff, but don't be burning trash.
Yeah, you did. That's correct.
And I gave Rick. They gave them the city hall number and your number and your name and Rick's name. So.
Okay.
Because he didn't know who to contact because they haven't moved in there yet.
Yeah, right. He hasn't, and I'm aware of that. Yeah. Okay. Does anyone else have something to?
Yep, Dave Kimmel.
Yes, ma'am.
Just have a few things to say. Spent a lot of money on the inside of this building. This floor looks like crap.
Hadn't been vacuumed.
No excuse for it.
Just new carpet though.
I'm talking to the mayor and the board.
Oh.
Might want to,
Vacuum.
yeah.
I think I need to buy a new vacuum too, because the one we have is like.
Don't say it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Get a runner. They got long, clear runners. Get a runner.
I have one of those too that I need to donate.
Put it down.
Haven't found it yet.
And just stick it in this.
Yeah, it's just in the door.
And this is your pen.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for coming, buddy.
No problem. You can fix it. I think you would fix it.
We'll see you.
Or you just go over it.
Do what you gotta do, girl.
Thank you.
Okay, bye, ladies. Bye. Anything else with Cindy you
Nope.
want to share? You want me to vacuum the floor?
I'm gonna do it. You pay your worker, don't you?
Yep. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, then at this time, I'll close the floor. Do we have reports from trustees?
What about the financials?
Oh, is everyone done reviewing financials? They have a motion to approve the bills and financial proceedings.
I'll make a motion. We do pay all the above.
I'll second. Have a roll call vote, please.
Well, here,
Linda? Yes.
Barb, yes. Peggy, yes.
Dylan is absent. Okay, reports from trustees. Okay, I'd like to report that, the first disbursement of the inventory funds requested, the, lead inventory grant, that we received $30,000. We have now requested the, first set of funds to be deposited in the amount of $15,000. And when that amount, does get deposited, that would be being paid out to the engineers and the, that have contracted to do the vacuum hole and the finishing of the lead inventory. I believe that the one gentleman that's doing the mapping was out yesterday, and so we're having a little bit of trouble getting onto the, Rosehacker property down at the farm to do that part. And I called Stephanie and she came out and assisted with getting that done. Back to them how to abate, how to let us know what they're doing in writing so that we don't pursue, because the next step for us is to actually to abate the properties for them. And of course, that's going to start taking into our account, and then if they do not pay for what it costs us, and then we go into liens, and then eventually foreclosure. So, you know, that will be coming, especially there's about 4 properties that just have not done much with a lot of the little ones. I mean, I turn around and I can see a lot of people doing things. They're just picking up their yards in general, they took care of whatever the nuisance was, and then cleaning up, and she asked about the water bill, and I asked her what was the purpose of the pittance. Was that to cover up the nuisance violations that have already been sent out? And she had said no, that was her husband's business. Well, we don't have a permit for a business for just our here in town. So hopefully they will continue to try to eliminate and clean up that situation. I did had to hand deliver 3 of the certified letters, because they went through the post office twice and then did not receive a response from him of what he plans to do. I did see him in the area, but nothing happening there. So that will be also abatement will start taking place from us, and that will be cutting up the trees and things that are overgrowth. And Mr. Newkirk, Jerry Newkirk, received one for his backyard that was overgrowth, and they took care of it right away, and they're still waiting for young Jerry to come in and move any vehicles that he thinks that are still his. And then he's been served not to come on the property, so he'll meet up with the son-in-law and take care of whatever vehicle he wants. And then they plan to have the other ones towed away at their expense. The backyard they had done, they hired Seth Swanson to do that. We didn't send a nuisance to the original, and so I've even sent an additional nuisance because of those vehicles. And then, or someone complained about Ross Madden's truck, said that it was parked on the sidewalk, partially parked on the sidewalk, and I went and checked with him, and it was not on the sidewalk, and it is drivable. He does not have a license. He said financially they just cannot do that, but he keeps it on his property.
There's not anything in the ordinance pertaining to license.
License insurance, it says inoperable. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course he was annoyed by that, but I just followed through because I had received a complaint. I also received a complaint about some goats on Dylan Wood's property, and I asked him about that, and he said he had actually he looked it up in the nuisance book, and it says it is allowable if the board approves it. And he said that he did get it approved by the board back in, he thought 2017 or 18, he wasn't certain exactly when, but he did get approval when he put those goats in some time ago. The other nuisances for vehicles, I've seen them moved, they're no longer out there. one of the other letters that I had to hand deliver was to, Dave Hardwick, and he did not accept the letter. So, have to see how to handle that. I do think he is actively working on cleaning up the property, but all his vehicles, I don't know if they're operable or not. And so eventually we'll have to clarify that with him and see if they are. But again, if they look at the nuisance outline that I sent, you know, I'm getting notices from people about other things, and so I will continue to follow through.
Now, I'll tell you, when he got upset, he said, he came over to my house, he wanted to apologize, he said, I addressed that to the mayor.
We were talking about Mr. Curtis?
Yes.
Yes.
I said, when you address that to one, you're gonna address that to all. This was we're all in that, we're all a team thing here. I said, we're all in it together. And he said, well, I didn't want to offend you because you're a neighbor.
Sure.
I said, well, to my knowledge, she's never been on your property, and it's just, we had to have it moved. I mean, gotta have it moved, cleaned up. And a few cuss words here and there.
That's it.
He went away.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I mean, he made himself very clear.
he did.
So,
And that's the way I felt. I mean, when they go to attacking you, they've attacked me and the rest of us. And, you know.
yeah, and that's one thing that I hope the public realizes that, yes, I'm the one that has to sign the letter, but I'm doing this on the permission and the guidance of the board.
Right.
So,
And it's not to put anybody in peril. It's just like Patty. We're not wanting to put her in a twist, in a bind. We're just wanting to get it cleaned up.
mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a bittersweet thing. Now, she can get derailed. I've heard her get derailed.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
maybe she tries to get it picked up. I don't know. I would not want to follow Buck Gunzo around and try to pick that factory and become this mess. But
There's no reason why you can't bring your friends and family in to help too. Nothing that says you've got to do it all yourself.
yeah, well,
okay. We did hire the secretary. That was taken care of the last meeting. And then the young gentleman to be PRN, Ryan Hawk. And he did work with Rick today, working at the concession stand.
I saw that.
They have the windows up. They've got reinforcement to do on it that they'll be doing tomorrow. Traffic to go ahead and trim the trees that are giving us the biggest problem or the biggest threat. And that would be the ones on Main Street that we had talked about, and the one on Railroad Street. On that one on Railroad Street, the last storm come down and knocked down one on top of the branch that we need down, but didn't bring the branch that we need down. And they should be out here any time, you know.
They were here this morning, I seen them go through.
Was it Legacy or was it,
It was Legacy.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I saw them come
Did they
back to my
trim?
house a couple times.
Did they do any trimming?
I saw them down.
I don't know, but the truck that I seen had a truckload of tree limbs in the back of their truck as they were entering town. So.
Yeah, they had come from Albion. I spoke to them today. They had come from Albion and was going to come back through probably just to see exactly what they needed to do here. They had given us an estimate and
I'm not doing this how to do it.
yeah.
when you call them and they come out, they got insurance.
Mm-hmm.
What about the
All year round.
yeah, I saw
all
him
year.
out today.
And because you and I had talked, because they had done service at your place and I knew they were coming back in the area, I did call them and Rick went with them and looked at some other areas that needed some cleanup. And they did send me an estimate. And Stevenson gave me an estimate too. Stevenson wanted to do 2 days work of trimming up all kinds of trees here and there. And his bid was $2,400. He was going to be charging half price at $150 an hour, and said it's taking approximately 2 days to clean it up. And then I believe it's on the desk here, the one that all year round, what they found that needed to be cleaned up and so forth. I don't have a listing of everything. Looks like he's trying to list everything here, but the bid is $6,330. you know, we had talked about motor fuel tax and where we thought that money would be going this year, so, we'll just have to continue to look at that and consider it. But what we did agree upon is the ones that were threatening for a storm this year, so, so that'll lead me right into motor fuel tax resolution, and I believe that, we do have a resolution to pass around this evening, and for everyone to take it. I'll let you go ahead and read what you have on it, Leon, the overall picture of it, and this is the resolution, everyone, for you to, that was, written up by, Brett Walker for us to, review and vote on this evening. We can make any changes that you might see necessary. As we've talked many a times, we're actually looking at trying to, do more of the ditches and culverts this year. And, we only have a few roads. What roads do we have listed, Leon? Is that on this? That's ditches. Here's your road.
Yeah.
32,000 on the front, is that what our funds will be for motor fuel tax?
That's
Is
what
that what
he was
I
saying, that's what he was,
understand?
we're asking to be allowed to use this year.
Gotcha.
I got the roads, you want Hackberry, $1,140.
West Street,
West Street, 2310.
and I think we agreed from the church down to Route 15 on West
About
Street.
15.
Where is West Street?
Right over there.
This is what Donna lives on West Street,
You mean Northwest?
Northwest.
Oh, okay.
It is on Northwest. Is
Okay.
it
Yeah,
Northwest?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and,
Don't say Northwest, but that's
we
what it
put
Gotcha,
an N on
okay.
that in front of the west of the Northwest Street.
is.
And, we had originally looked at Main, south, is it Northeast Street, and then on around the curve, but,
Mhm.
what does your report here say from Mr.?
We recommend putting patch in a few of the holes that should be good to go. Don't have to chip and seal the whole street. Would still recommend sealing or cement by the elevator, but probably not necessary on Northeast Street.
Okay,
Repeat that again about persimmon near the elevator.
yeah, so like,
Persimmon Street runs
I know where it is, so what did he recommend doing?
sealing that.
first should we get a good foundation, so that when our chip and seal comes over that we get a good solid road there. There's also that large stump on that East Street also that is going to be grind and removed just completely, because we don't want to have to go back in after we've just done all that work on that road, trying to make that a better road for the trucks. And, there's a pine tree on the corner that, it's on city property there, and the branches were hanging over a little bit, and I think that's why the trucks were going over more to the east, to try to avoid that tree, get that curve. So we're gonna be taking that tree down. I did send a courtesy letter out to the landowner, letting him know that we would be removing the tree. And I haven't heard anything yay or nay from him about that, so we will move forward with that. If he in fact does not want that tree removed, what are the...
It's on city property.
Yeah, and I mean, and I hate to go through the expense of working on that road and not get that done. So,
You wanna do anything on the other side of my sidewalk? I don't have anything to say about what you out there.
well, and actually that stump is is near your property, but on our side. And it was breaking up the sidewalk.
I have no say, but I guess it's on city property.
Okay, I have no say. So we'll be taking care of that. And that's part of your resolution here too, correct?
Mhm.
All right,
I want, here's two trees on Main Street. On Railroad Street, cedar tree on Persimmon Street.
those are, yeah. The cedar tree's coming down completely, and the other two are large branches that hang over the road that need to be trimmed because, they're not only a hazard for the storm, but in the way of tractors, farmers coming and going. So, and then those big trucks. So that's what's presented there. And then the bid, on the ditches, let's see what that's about. Did you guys look this over?
Yeah.
Okay.
Drainage.
Jody is really good about taking care of mowing that area, and that sidewalk, it's, we don't need that small area, but, the charge on that was, $4,900. And so I think the city worker can take care of that. It's a, it's a, maybe 4 or 5 foot area sidewalk. So I didn't know if we wanted to include that or not, but if it needs to be, it's been approved, by, or submitted to low fuel tax, so it's included. If
Did
that's,
they look, I didn't see that, but did they look over there by, Lloyd Schwartz's property, where that tree, and the sidewalk there? I mean, that's dangerous.
just throwing that big equipment coming in right after this.
Culverts first.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, and of course, it will be on their timeline, such as ours, that we'll get this submitted, if I can. So at this time, then, I'll ask for a motion to approve the motor fuel tax resolution submitted this evening.
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then absent would be John.
Do we need a roll call for spending money?
Pardon me?
We need a roll call for
Yeah.
spending money.
Yes, I agree. So a roll call vote? Roll call vote, because it's money involved.
Yes, Leon Raver.
Yes, okay. Linda, yes.
Barb, yes.
Peggy, yes.
We need to talk about the budget for the 2024 fiscal year. We need input needed to what everyone is thinking that they think we need to try to get budgeted for this year.
I know there's been some talk about fixing up the ballpark and renting that out, there's been some interest in renting it out.
Barbie, aren't you currently working on a
Yeah,
grant for that?
yeah. Yeah, that's been.
Okay.
We're gonna try to have a meeting with an engineer next week. We're gonna try to set up a meeting next week.
Barbie, are you gonna be able to attend that?
Yeah.
Okay, good, thank you.
I gotta ask a simple question.
I didn't know that you were
They-
doing that, but
they
I
were
just
just-
knew that was something.
Is there interest in that ballpark? I mean,
Yeah, there
Oh, there
really is, yeah. Because there's so many travel teams in the area.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're looking for places to either practice or have a weekend tournament.
I understand.
Yeah,
Well, I'm coming out of that circle and I
Yeah.
didn't ever hear.
yeah.
When I mentioned to Tracy Swanson that asked about, did she do, engineering for parks? And, I told her the reason I was asking and so forth, and she, recommended Grunlow and the alphabet soup for that.
Oh,
But she said she has a 10-year-old that doesn't get to play until 8 o'clock, and then, there's time for the ball game, and she'd really like to have that child home and in bed before that.
So
She
that's what
said she
happens.
would really like to drive to Bellmont instead of having her kid play at 8 p.m.
Sure.
This is true. My grandson's 8, he just turned 8, and so our system starts at 8 o'clock.
Well, I do believe that it's requiring a lot of work, but if we could get some assistance, maybe we could get on it. I do know that, Rick is working on the concession stand right now, redoing those windows, and, the lights do work, we just don't have them on.
We're boarded up too.
Yeah. And, what else is out there? The fence needs to be replaced, it's not even the,
Nobody even needs it, and it's okay.
yeah, it's not the standard.
Out. There was a PA system, and I don't remember if they're working on it.
Okay.
And this bill, people got in there that didn't know what they were doing, and they
Sure.
took out the infield, and I mean, you just can't go straight to the baseball diamond.
Right, we definitely wanna know.
There's areas of high depth. The holes
Is everything
are
okay?
still there for the bag.
Okay, okay, that sounds good, so that we can start to try to budget for that, and possibly get some assistance, grant money. And Barbie, you're reaching out to, organizations that could be used in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we can show that interest, I think we're more likely to get the assistance.
Yeah.
Okay, I know this is kind of cosmetic, but we still need to, get the back part of the building here cleaned up, the outside needs painted, and then the floor at the shelter house really needs to be taken care of. It's like flaking and, you know, we made paint and fill and all that. The epoxy and stuff is expensive. And that
I think
might.
we factored this in when we hired a full-time employee.
Yes, yeah.
It's year-round full-time, and, you know, there's not a lot that can be done with the mowing going on. But I think we factored that in the decision to hire a full-time employee, that they could do some of these indoor jobs in the winter,
Okay,
or after mowing season. So maybe we could get that same employee holiday
okay.
when they're usually, but
Okay, and so, and then that would only have to be still the paint, you know, the expensive paint and wrapping and so
I mean,
forth.
it's not.
Put some polyurethane on top of that paint,
Yeah,
that'll help.
yeah, have that feel, yeah.
Does it, is there much use of the shelter house on weekdays?
Not on weekdays,
Could they probably get it done through a week?
yeah, and like you said, the city employees should be able to do that with or without a second person helping. So,
Now, the only other weekday coming up would be election day, that's the only time it's used through the week.
okay. The Ryan King painted the inside here, and, myself, I see a few spots that I think could have been a little bit cleaner, so I don't know if we want to go that route again for the outside. But I could definitely get some estimates opposed to sell, and his price wasn't too bad, so it was reasonable, but I think outside's gonna cost a little bit more, so maybe.
What do you think?
What it's gonna cost? Oh, I don't know, but it's probably gonna have to get quicker and so forth. It's not the top of my list, but it's there. Kind of the top of the list for me is to get my Sandy down here and rip all that nasty carpet out, because, you know, once you got that ugly carpet out of here, for me, it was getting all the mold and mildew out. So we're not, you know, worried about breathing that in, so I'm still breathing it in.
What about, getting guttering on the back of the building so that water doesn't run off if you've been back there, it's about 18 inches deep.
Yeah.
The place where the water's washed out. I don't know where you gutter the water off
I
to,
think-
but
I think that's something that the city workers can also look at and decide how we need to do that.
you want roll,
You want a roll?
one roll.
I know roll.
That's what we did another organization I'm in, but we know we're gonna do some mailing.
Well, even
So we
when
went
you got the
ahead.
cent, you gotta pay the difference. I mean, you may have to pay a cent or two difference, or a nickel difference.
I thought do they not sell those love stamps anymore?
Forever.
Forever, yeah.
stamp.
It might not be love, it may be something else.
I
They
I knew
all
it said
Honor those
something.
older ones that
Oh,
are
yeah.
4 words that it.
They have to, that's why it's called forever, right?
Yeah.
I would think. Okay, anything else for around the table?
I don't have anything else.
I don't either.
Okay, let's see. And then we have, appointment of new trustees. Do we have anyone that would like to be appointed? Ms. Stacy would love you to come back on. Okay, then the next meeting date is July calendar.
I don't have them with me.
Yeah, at the big desk.
You're on the server.
11, 9,
Oh, close.
9.
The second Tuesday of the month would be the 9th. Okay, so July 9th at 6:30 p.m. Will that work for everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and may I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Barb, you seconded, right?
Yes. This is him, sir? No,
I'll leave the door open for you.
Oh, thank you. Ms. Claudia, has you got everything taken care of there?
Told him to excuse me. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Y'all have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you
Good
for
night,
finding
guys.
that thing for me. I know it's a pain. We
Yeah,
all the
we
others
did
we
not
just
go
were
away,
away, and then I thought, it's somewhere else. They did all these years. So, we had every other one that was in there.
Thanks, Leon.
Crazy.
You bet.
That was in the last place I looked. Look for it.
Oh, I locked the door, it must be right here.